And it's dismantling our country. I mean, we will be left in a rubble. I think we can rebuild differently and better, hopefully. But they're tearing everything down, and very fast and very successfully. You know, the East Wing is gone, right? We're not going to get the East Wing back. Similarly with our country as we knew it. Trump is tearing it down so fast, we'll never get it back. The question is whether we're going to rebuild something better, or whether we are going to rebuild a fucking, $40 billion bunker, metaphorically speaking, built with foreign steel, which is what Trump wants to do with the ballroom, although $40 billion is not accurate. I don't know what the number is, but it's very high. Anyway, but on the other hand, I want to remind you, like here, I'm going to talk about books for a second, and just bear with me. I get to do this because this is my life. But I just finished a book. It's right over there. That's why I'm looking at it. It's called We Don't Know Ourselves. It's by Fintan O'Toole. And it's a history of modern Ireland. It starts in 1935 and it comes up to the present. And it's a really interesting book, if you like history like I do. And one of the things that really struck me about it was that Ireland in like the 30s, 40s, 50s was like really a lot like the United States is now. I mean, very different in many ways, but like run by basically a theocracy, right? The Catholics ran the country and they ran it with an iron fist. There was a great deal of corruption in the leadership. The Catholics, were all about being pro-life and sort of preventing abortions and no birth control and all that stuff. But on the other hand, were killing children in workhouses, or what were they called? Education houses. I can't remember what they were called. These horrible, horrible facilities they would ship kids off to, and unwed mothers. Horrible, like just brutal, horrible stuff. And maybe 40 years ago, they put a constitutional amendment banning all abortion in all cases. And it was just like that was the way that country was always going to be. And their population was shrinking. People were emigrating. No one wanted to be there. It was a dying country. And, not to say that Ireland is perfect now, but in the last 40 years, there has been a complete and total transformation. Some of it good, some of it not, but the religious theocracy is gone, essentially. I mean, there are still Catholics, obviously, but like that iron fist running the country is no longer, and the abortion is now far more legal than it is here. And I say that just to remind you that, countries go through giant swings, history's long, and while we are in a very terrible swing right now, we can and will transform out of this. Whether or not I live long enough to see it, I think I will, quite frankly. I'd like to. I plan on being part of it. But we will. There will be... We are not always going to be here. This is fucking terrible. But this will provide the fuel to bring us to an entirely different place if we allow it to. So we have two choices right now. We can either succumb to despair and just say this is terrible. This is awful. Everything is horrible. And I mean, I'd say right now we're kind of in peak, it's fucking a lot, right? It's a lot. We've got concentration camps popping up all over the country. Children are still being tortured at Dili. Adults are being tortured all over the country. The economy is crashing. We've got this horrible war. Israel, as far as I know, is still bombing Lebanon. I haven't looked in the last couple of hours. The Epstein thing is still horrible. It's a lot of really bad stuff. And it's very easy to just say it's all, I give up. I'm exhausted and I give up. But I just want to encourage people to try to keep going if you can, even if you fuel yourself with just rage and righteous, fucking punitiveness. We are going to get through this, and we are going to hold these people accountable. And my revenge, the revenge I intend, is to transform this country into a place that the Christian nationalists fucking hate so much that they want to leave. That is my determination, that we are going to transform this nation into a place so progressive that they will feel lost in this country, as they have made us feel lost in our country. And that we are going to learn to embrace the immigrant and allow actual freedom and care for everyone and lift all boats, rise that tide so that everybody lifts, and provide free education, higher education, and fix our fucking healthcare system. Those are the things I care about. Those are the things I know you care about. We have got to make a decision to fight until we get them. So I know we're all really tired, and I know this is just absolutely exhausting. I mean, it is exhausting. As somebody said on Threads, there was a post that just said, I don't think any human body was meant to endure two Trump terms. And it's true. Like, it is exhausting. But we also, we get to keep fighting and show our determination to bring competence back, to bring morality back, and to bring public service back. Those are my three things: competence, morality, public service. I will fight for those for the rest of my life. And it's not always easy to find. You think you've got competence. You think, oh, Eric Swalwell, he seems pretty competent. He seems pretty moral. And then, looks like not. That's really disappointing. But we keep trying. We keep trying. We have to put somebody in positions of leadership, so we'll keep trying. And I believe we are finding some deeply competent public servants. We have found a lot of them. We have found Melanie Stansbury. We have found Rebecca Balint in Vermont. We found Maxwell Frost. We've got AOC. We've got, Ayanna Pressley. There's so many. I mean, I'm not going to sit and list them all here now. We have a lot of great young people coming up. It is just our job to keep trying. And it's going to be a hard fight. But as I say all the time, I am damned if I am going to leave our country in the hands of these literal psychotics. It's just not going to happen. And I hope that you will take the same resolution. So in the last couple of minutes, I just want you to know what's coming down the pike here. So Republicans are, as you probably know, let me try to explain this as simply as I can. So you know that the DHS is still shut down, right? They're still shut down. And the only reason we're not hearing about it is because Trump is paying everybody in DHS with an executive order. Nobody really knows exactly whether that's legal or not. It's not the way things are supposed to work. That is not how the appropriation system works. But it was a move out of desperation so that we could get lines shortened in a world where Republicans refuse to rein in ICE. Because remember, that was the one qualification Democrats have, is we just want guardrails. We want the masks off. We want IDs. We want warrants. We want investigations, independent investigations when they take a life. And Republicans don't want to give that. So their only other way to get DHS funded, since Democrats wouldn't provide votes without those changes, is to do this thing Trump is doing. But now what they're going to do, so their plan now is that they're going to pass DHS funding using reconciliation. Now, if you remember, maybe reconciliation is how they passed the One Big Bullshit Bill Act. It's how they pass bills that are supposedly budgetary only in nature. So they can't have things like, a ban on gay marriage. Because that's not budgetary, right? It's got to be budgetary. They try to make things budgetary that aren't, but they usually get pulled out by the parliamentarian. So they're going to try to pass it that way. And the reason they like reconciliation is because it only requires a simple majority in the Senate. So it can't be filibustered by the Democrats. So they're going to try to get their ICE funding, the additional funding they want for ICE, on top of the $150 billion they already got in the OBBBA. They're going to try to do that through reconciliation. Some of them want to add war funding. Although, are we at war? It's unclear, but we certainly, they want to rebuild the ammunition or the munitions that have all been used up. That number is like $200 billion to $350 billion, depending on who you ask. They want to add that, maybe, to the reconciliation bill, but other Republicans don't. Some Republicans are going to want to pay for that. So usually with reconciliation, Republicans like to say, oh, we're going to pay for it by cutting a bunch of other stuff. Remember last time they cut $1 trillion from Medicaid and $200 billion from